Does it ever feel like you're a marketing professional just speaking into the void? But with LinkedIn ads, you can know you're reaching the right decision makers, a network of 130 million of them, in fact. You can even target buyers by job title, industry, company, seniority, skills, and did I say job title? See how you can avoid the void and reach the right buyers with LinkedIn ads. Spend $250 on your first campaign and get a free $250 credit for the next one. Get started at linkedin.com/campaign. Terms and conditions apply.
Hey, it's Paris. You know I love sparkly things, right? Like stars. Duh. And thanks to Hilton and AutoCamp, I just slept under them. Picture me, serving looks by the fire outside my luxurious Airstream, making s'mores with the kids, while a national park is our backdrop. The great outdoors meets Hilton hospitality. That's hot. Explore all the new ways to stay at Hilton.com. Hilton for the stay.
You're tuned into Auto Intelligence, live from Auto Trader, where data, tools, and your preferences sync to make your car shopping smooth.
They're searching inventory.
Oh, yeah.
They find what you need.
They're gonna find
and
it.
You can make a budget for your wallet to help you succeed. Pricing's precise and true.
So true.
It's smarter car shopping.
Ooh.
Just for you.
Oh, it's just for you. Ooh. Find your next ride at autotrader.com. Powered by Auto Intelligence.
With a major selection of the looks your kiddos love starting at just $4 in the Walmart app, a new school year means a stylish new them. Who knew? Find skater skirts and Crocs that say, I'm casual but cool. Sparkly sneakers that say, it's my classroom, you're just learning in it. And preppy polos that say, I'm the teacher's pet, even if they're mommy's menace at home. Find their favorite styles starting at just $4 in the app. The Walmart you thought you knew is now new.
My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin. Anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking.
Back with another episode of Shades of Blue. This is Stab Bell from the KC Soccer Journal. With me, I have Carrie Robinson of Special Insider Sporting Knowledge and the KC Soccer Journal, and David Greenwald. I'm going to go to David first because Carrie's got a lot to tell us today over the entire podcast. David, how are you?
I am well, Thad. How are you?
Not bad. I think you're the only one that actually watched the game in its entirety live.
So I did.
You're
I did.
You're going to be the knowledge today.
Oh, goody.
Carrie who normally is perfectly attuned to every little nuance of every game she's at, was a little bit busy this week.
Yeah. There should be a Behind the Shield coming out of obviously the Wizards, and so all day yesterday we were filming just about from 2-ish till right before the game ended, and then we got access to the Shield Club.
I wish this was a video medium because you would see how big she smiled when she says we got access.
I had to decorate. I had to go back to my parents' house and find sporting merch to decorate my apartment a little bit. Which is why I have a Matt Beasley bobblehead right here as of now.
Hold on, I have a question about that sentence. So is your apartment just generally bare and undecorated, or is it just devoid of sporting merch?
No sporting merch.
Okay, so it is decorated, just not with stuff from the team.
My room in high school was only sporting, so now I've moved away from that.
And you get a episode about you since you've moved away from being, all in on sporting.
This team just keeps following me. I'm not following it. It's following me.
There's so many things I could say there. I just don't know if they'd be appropriate. If you need sporting merch, I have there's a bunch of bobbleheads back over this way, and even SKC 2 ones. Well, the Swope Park Rangers one, bobblehead. Scarves over there. There's old shit over there in the corner. So,
yeah, I had to buy a new
don't talk
scarf
about yourself
rack.
like that, Dad.
I'm in this corner, but yes, I'm the equivalent. Yes.
Well,
All
not
right.
all of us got to have the super fun special access that Carrie had, but Carrie, you got to spend some special time with a special friend.
Yes.
Tell us
Manu
about
Mano
it.
a
Garcia.
mano. No.
Yeah, wait, which friend are we talking about?
Our Spanish friend.
Yes, Manu Garcia. So after the game, we were just kind of waiting around, and Marika Davis, the host for SKC, comes over and she says that Manu is kind of sad that he has never had a chant for just him before, and that he's created his own. And so we got to listen to him sing his own chants by recording. And then she had a video of us doing it. And then we went in and go talk to Manu eventually. And we told him that about it and how there's a video, and he was excited for that. And then my friend Joss told him about our chant that we have not been able to do because he's been injured, which is a man in the mirror style. I'm starting with Manu in the midfield. I'm asking him to change the game. So we told him this, but we also mentioned Michael Jackson, like just to intro it. We were like, by Michael Jackson. And so he was very excited about this. So we've heard because when he saw Marika, it was probably like 20 minutes later, he said, "Have you heard of Michael Jackson?" So
Carrie, I'm having a very hard time kind of picturing how that song would sound, that chant would sound. Could you
which
give
one?
us a version of
Both.
Man in the Mirror, but Manu in the Mirror? Could you just lay
Yeah,
a track down?
I'm starting with Manu Garcia. I'm asking him to change the game. And then his was I've been singing this all day. Well, it's just a bunch of laws, but it goes Manu Garcia.
Ah, that's great.
All
What
right,
have
so
any
we need
other?
Carrie and Zach Cobb together to get the cauldron on this.
He might be my new favorite player just because of that interaction. Just because I have the voice memo in my phone of him.
Are you gonna play it into the microphone?
Uh no for his sake, but I will send it to you guys.
It's very wholesome. What else did you get to, are you allowed to tell us about your time behind the scenes?
Sure. We also got to talk to Jansen, and I don't know if anyone has followed Offsee the Wizards, but we had a thing going that was let's have a beer with Jansen Miller because like I don't know, he's our age,
Yeah.
basically. And so people started telling us like he doesn't drink. But we found out he just doesn't drink in season. So he said that he would go out with us after the season. Very excited. He was also talking about his cat a lot.
That cat is special to him.
It is.
Hank the soccer cat or whatever that is.
Is it like black and white like a ball?
I don't think so. I feel like it's
No.
orange. I don't know though.
Yeah, I know I've seen a picture of it somewhere on social media, but I don't pay that close attention. But I know he was very upset when he thought he lost his cat when he had to move apartments because his apartment got flooded early in the season with all those rains, the floods. So he had to move, and somewhere along the line, he thought the cat was missing, but it was just hiding under a moving blanket. So he was very distraught for a little while. Thought he may not be able to play the next game. So cat's very special to him. So don't mess with this cat.
I wouldn't dare.
You would get the wrath of Miller. But
I
yeah, no,
wouldn't
Jansen's a
dare.
pretty cool guy to talk to. He's very nice. I think I told you last week he like came up and said happy birthday to me because he saw it up on the scoreboard. So he's pretty cool. So I did not watch the game live. I was at the wedding of Mr. Robert Russert and all that, so I did not get to watch the game. But I was following the scores and I was like, yes, 1-0. Oh, 1-1. Okay. Oh, 2-1. But not the best night for the soccer team. But what What did you see, David?
Yeah, so I thought Sporting actually came out ready to play, um, much better than they've looked, in some of the thing is the team is so up and down. There are games where we look very good, and there's games where we look very bad. But they looked like they were up for it. Um, Jovic did a really good job earning a PK, converting his PK. We had a nice early lead, and then a few minutes before half, Owen Wolf. I mean, he had a great finish. Right, took down the ball, chopped it to the other foot to get space. I think Pools Camp might have been able to do a little bit more with it, but it was well taken. Um,
His
but
touch was insane.
Yeah.
Sporting, Sporting brought the game. I mean, I thought for large parts of the game they looked like the better team. I mean, Austin I think conceded possession to us on purpose and wanted to hit on the counter. Um, but Sporting possessed the ball well. They passed the ball well. We outshot them. We had more expected goals than them. Um, but ultimately, we're kind of done in by a set piece at the end, which was a real bummer because I don't think that a 2-1 result tells the tale of the match. Um, and then the question that everybody has, and including myself, is what the hell happened on the last play of the game? Sporting Jovic did a great job splitting the defense, getting in behind. He's going to, rue that he didn't convert
Yep.
that final shot. It was a nice save by the keeper. Um, but Sporting earns a foul and a set piece in a dangerous spot. It's the last kick of the game, and then all of a sudden, they just blow the whistle and it's over. Um, I still don't quite understand what happened there, but for a loss, this we actually looked like we knew what we were doing. We had some ideas, very different than some of our more recent losses.
Did you pay attention to the Shopee shadowy? They came out and they were in switch positions.
Yeah, so it was a tactical decision that to try and prevent diagonals. And so Carrie inverted the wingers at one point. Other Carrie inverted Carrie with better access than you inverted the wingers. I think as a defensive tactic to try and put some more pressure on. Also dropped Santi deeper into the midfield to try and get some pressure on Owen Wolf to like keep him occupied so that he wasn't kind of a free runner out of the midfield.
I felt like Shopee on the inverted side, I felt like he played better. Granted, it was only like 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that, before they switched over. Um, but when that happened, I notably told my friends, I was like, Shopee was doing great there. I understand they have to switch for the diagonals, but I I feel like we just lost something from Shopee on how decent he was playing.
Was Shopee good for that period of time, David? You're the noted most Shopee lover.
I think Eric Tommy should be playing more.
We just got back from injury.
I don't care. He has 2 feet.
Some days he does. No, I throughout much of the season, I think the team has been at its best when Shopee started and Eric came in, or Eric started and Shopee came in and just gave the other team a weird look. So it, I like to see Eric out there more, even though he has his strong points and his not so strong points.
Yeah, I mean, I think in all seriousness, the what's nice about Tommy is his positional versatility, and what's the downside to Tommy is he doesn't really have like a true position. He's not
Yeah,
quite a midfielder. He's not quite a winger. He's a little bit of both, kind of neither.
we need to come up with a new formation for a not quite either.
I mean, it's better than neither.
True, which some players on this team might have that position. I'm not going to go into names right now.
I wouldn't dare.
Um, what about Shallowy on the right? He 2 games ago, that's where he got his goal from. He did his best Johnny F. and Russell imitation and came in and scored that goal. How do you think he looked on the right?
Not Daniel's best game for me. I mean, he had 3 progressive carries, I think. He had an expected goal of 0, like 0 XG, which is not great, from an attacking player. Only 2 shot creating actions. I don't. It's tough to say he put in like a particularly effective shift with those kind of underlying numbers.
I feel like he had moments in the second half, which was better than the first. Um, but that also kind of sucked because us being a usual second half team is what we've seen this season. I felt like we still had our better half was the first half, and maybe that was just because Austin was still filling the game. They had a little bit more giveaways in that first half, especially in the first 20 minutes. But
Yeah, I'm just looking for a lot more from Daniel than, one shot, one tackle, no shot creating, very few shot creating actions. Like he's got to show up more based on, his role kind of as like the elder statesman on the team, as with his salary, that he has to show up more than that.
Who had the most shots in the game?
Shots taken?
Yeah.
Tommy with 3.
And after that?
Leibold.
No.
No, sorry. Montez
Yeah.
had 3.
I found
and
that
then
interesting.
Shelton and Leibold had 2 each.
So of the top 4 most shots, it was probably not the people you would expect to get shots that much, except maybe Tommy, but
I'm here for Alan Montez just taking irrational confidence shots. Might as
I
well have
mean,
some fun with it.
the thing that sets him when you compare center backs in MLS, we go back to whenever I had the two comparisons and I was going back and forth of all the defenders in the Mexican League to see what player it was. The thing that stood out the most is that he had so many goals, so many 90 minutes
yep.
as a center back. So those confidence shots are not just, I'm gonna do it. Like that is his game.
Right. No, so, per football ref, right, over the last 365 days compared to other center backs, he's in the 99th percentile in non-penalty XG, 99th percentile in shots taken, 97th percentile in non-penalty XG plus X assists. I mean, he's offensively oriented for a center back.
Interestingly, though, in this game where he played 82 minutes, he had 0 tackles, 0 challenges, 0 blocks, 0 interceptions, no defensive stats whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, I
Shoppy
think
had more.
a lot of that comes down to, in some part, Austin playing on the counter, not having a ton of the ball.
Yeah, don't disagree.
I mean, because Volater only had 2 tackles. Kyrie had 3. Tim Leibold had 2. There just weren't a ton, right? There's only.
So everybody else on the defensive line at least had some defensive actions. But
maybe they were so afraid of Montez that they just chose not to challenge him.
well, he is like 6'12" or something.
It's
Yeah,
good to
that's a
have
number.
height again. Well, I mean, I guess we have Kyrie, but he's like the outlier until Montez came. Although there was one cross that was going to that Shoppy, it probably like hit just the top of his hair. And I said, if only he was 1 inch taller.
You need to
Or
spike your hair. Maybe next time you guys do it behind the scenes, you can do it with Shoppy.
Is
I
Shappy? Do we
I
feel like
wouldn't
he's
know what
got a
to
good
say to
sense of
him.
humor?
He's Russian. I feel like
The
No,
Russians are
I don't
known for
know.
their sense of humor.
Yeah.
They've got
They're known for
Yakov
dark
Smirnoff
humor.
and who
Dark
else?
humor. Yeah.
I'm curious how he reacts to your costumes, Carrie.
I'm curious to know how he reacts to Shoppy's right foot on Twitter. Because when I was talking to Jansen, he brought that up. We didn't bring it up. He brought it up. So that means
The team knows.
I would assume that everyone knows.
What if it's Jansen?
What if it's Shappy? What if it's an inside job?
I just went to it, the Twitter account, and the most recent tweet was the Chiefs missed field goal, and it said Shoppy could have done this with his right foot. It's a good Twitter account. Whoever Shoppy, if you're running this, fantastic. Way to learn American football so fast.
And English.
And English. Yeah, that's why I can't. How much English does he know?
I don't know. He's not really spoken much in front of us. Like even when we go to the locker room, he's usually not speaking. Nobody goes to talk to him. Yeah, no, that's I've never really seen him speak English. So
Thad, you've covered this team for a very long time. Who is the least, not the least friendly, but like the least communicative player that you've ever dealt with? Like the way you just described Shappy. Who else is in that conversation?
well, I don't know that Shoppy is being that way because he doesn't want to be, or just because he has no confidence in communicating, right?
Sure.
But somebody I know who could speak some English who never ever wanted to talk to anybody, Janice.
Interesting.
I
I
know.
heard this.
Talked to him like preseason, and he was okay, nothing like amazing, but and then he just would never seem to show up, and he wasn't playing, so they were never putting him out there, right? He wasn't playing consistent minutes and stuff like that. But after the Open Cup game where he was like the hero, and we like wanted to speak to him, and the initial excuse was he's not feeling well, and then it was like, he just really doesn't want to talk. So
I get the sense that he did not enjoy his time in Kansas City very much.
no, I don't think so. There's
You know, he was caught up with Cyprus for World Cup qualifications.
good for him.
I would love for them to qualify and have a game against Botswana in Kansas City.
Cyprus, Botswana.
Are we going to that game then?
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
The question is, how do we dress up?
We have to buy like third party Sporting KC Giannis kits. But we wear them backwards. That way he can see the Giannis on us.
That way he'll know that we're there for him.
Yeah, and just him.
Incredible. I'm here for it.
Yeah, you guys go for that. I just want to go to the game.
Well, let's wrap up sporting, but that's a good segue real quick. Tickets, I think, open up tomorrow for some people for the World Cup. You have to go
I
to
don't
like FIFA's website and sign up and whatever, but I think there's a thing. By the time this podcast comes out, it'll be today.
Yeah.
But tickets go on sale on the 9th for at least some people, and then they'll open up another set pretty shortly thereafter.
Is it special people, or you just have? I mean, can you just sign up for it and buy them, or do you have to be some special insider, popular person to do so?
So you're always better off if you sign up to be a special people insider. But I think tomorrow's a pre-sale for people who have Visa credit cards.
Huh.
So for any of our listeners who have Commerce Bank, you have a Visa credit card.
I do not have Commerce Bank anymore. Before we close out the sporting session though, and I mean, I was giving Montez a little crap for not having any defensive actions. How did he play otherwise?
Sorry, guys, I'm distracted. Botswana can't qualify for the World Cup directly, but they can advance to the second round. It's an uphill battle.
It
Thad,
is.
what player did you say? Sorry, I listened to
Montez.
all of that. Montez, okay.
You're like
I
my
heard
family
everything.
members. I heard you talk, but I didn't listen.
No, I heard everything except for how did insert name here play.
Who's Montez again?
The 6'9"
Okay.
guy.
Oh, that's right. I'm just buying time for Carrie.
Has he done enough that we can buy him yet?
I don't think so, but
And I don't know.
I mean, he was tied for our lowest, or no, I guess he was rated 1 point better than Pools Camp, but FootMob only rated him a 5.8. You know, it's tough to give a ton of credit to somebody who logs like very few defensive stats.
it is.
And
Yeah.
especially when this is still one of your first appearances for this team.
Yeah. Because I'm trying to be fair about it. I just have not seen much out of him in the limited times he had before this. And again, I've only watched part of the game back. And I also have, like, I think the most awkward positioned player photo of all time from a few games ago when he played. And he just, like, did something weird and fell over backwards. And it looked like a melted action figure. So.
A melted action figure.
Yeah, like it was just falling over, but like stuck.
I feel like this might be like a little bit of like a common theme for our most recent center backs that we've gotten.
That I'd actually be really interested if you did like a photo montage of athletes falling awkwardly. Not one where anybody ended up like getting injured, but just like people falling. I'd go to that exhibit.
Yeah.
I'd pay money for that. It'd be fun.
You can do like a top 10, like it's David Letterman.
Well, I'll share the Montez photo with you guys later.
I mean, we're always looking for off-season content. This could be like a full article.
It could be.
And by the way, that'd be a full article on the KansasCitySoccerJournal.com, and you should all go listen or go read it.
And if you don't want to write it up, send us your top 10 photos and we will we will rank them for you.
Oh yeah.
And then you can comment on how wrong we will be.
Yeah, because I often have different opinions on what they think about my photos, so that's okay. Just to correct David, though, I'm glad you plugged the Kansas City Soccer Journal, but it is KCSoccerJournal.com, just in case people go to the wrong place.
We should probably buy the other domain to direct them back.
Okay, let's do that.
But yeah, KC Soccer Journal. You guys should all go read our content.
All right. Do we have any other insight to the Sporting KC game? They could have won. They possibly should have won, or at least got a point out of it. But it is just another, as they said, microcosm of the season.
To me, this felt like a very traditional. This felt like a Vermes loss, like a 2019 Vermes loss, where you're like, we should have probably won. We should have gotten something out of it, but didn't.
Fair enough. Let's take a small break. We'll be right back.
This episode is brought to you by Nespresso and Samra Origins by the Weekend Coffee Collection.
Introducing Samra Origins. My collaboration with Nespresso is a connection to my roots, to my mother, Samra. Coffee that hits the right notes. It transports you. Crafted with unique notes and bold, soaring flavors. Experience a taste that moves you. Nespresso and Samra Origins.
Discover more at Nespresso.com.
Welcome to Only Murders in the Building,
the official podcast.
Join me, Michael Cyril Creighton, as we go behind the scenes with some of the amazing actors, writers, and crew from season 5.
The audience should never stop suspecting anything.
How can you not be funny crawling around on a coffin? No, that's true.
Catch Only Murders in the Building official podcast, now streaming wherever you get your podcasts. And watch Only Murders in the Building, streaming on Hulu and Hulu on Disney Plus for bundle subscribers. Terms apply.
This episode is presented by State Farm. Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like expecting the leadership of a team captain on the football field, but getting a sea captain. You wouldn't settle for just anything for your team. Shouldn't it be the same for your insurance? So don't settle for just any insurance when you can go with a leader. State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I was deep in it, gaming on Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7. Unfolding the screen made it twice as big and so immersive, I kinda lost myself. Might have trolled a little too close to the sun. Someone in the chat told me to touch grass, so I took my Z Fold 7 outside and kept playing. Still won, got a tan, and a nice little reset. Powerful processor, realistic graphics, you stay locked in, streak stays alive. Can your phone do that?
The new Galaxy Z Fold 7. Get yours at Samsung.com.
And we're back with a entertaining little break we had. I can't remember what we officially said we were going to do next.
Current. Let's talk about something positive.
Let's talk about the current. Another 2-0 win. They are inching ever closer. I don't even say inching. They're bullying their way forward into winning the Shield with, half a dozen games left, approximately.
Yeah, I believe that with San Diego losing to Houston, we officially have home field advantage for the semifinals, which means we have to finish top 2. Yeah,
Top
sorry,
four.
I had yes.
How many
No,
games are left?
top 4 would be if for quarterfinals, but I'm saying semifinals.
Okay.
I had to think about how many teams there are and what the format is. How we drop 14 points or more in 3, 4, 5 games left, 6 games, something in there. 3 to 6 games. I don't know. This team is just so dominant, and all these games are looking the same, which I would like to see a little bit more variety. Just, we got spoiled last year with having 5 goals a game.
And giving up 3, 4.
Yeah,
Well,
it would be fun to have at least 3 goals in a game and not just a 1-goal game until it's like the 85th minute and then a 10 more goal.
I love how clinical and just straightforward this is. Here's my question, though. So the Current are on 49 points right now, I believe. The NWSL record was set last year by Orlando at 60 points. There are 7 games left. Spirit, Reign, Stars, Angel City, Gotham, Dash, Wave. And there's some decent teams in there. Can the Current get 12 points?
Yes.
Will they?
Yes.
Yes, especially with a lot of those harder teams being at home.
I mean, I just think, I understand what you're saying, Carrie, about how, it's a 2-0 win, 2-0 win, 2-0 win, 2-0 win. This team has 2 losses and 1 draw. I mean, they are going to go down. Now they have to do something in the playoffs, right? But this is probably the most dominant regular season you're going to see for like a really long time.
They are in that, everybody talks about amazing, but this league has had seasons where teams have dominated in the past. Last year was a fluke where you had 4 teams that were all league leading teams in previous years. And the Current ended up 4th out of that. They could have finished in any of those spots with just a couple of different results or having a defense at the beginning half of the year. But this year it is just such a separation. Usually there's a team that's really dominant, a team that's kind of getting close to them, but right now they're just pulling away. And like you said, clinical, the last 3 wins have been 2-0. They had that 0-0 draw, 1-0 win, 2-0 win, 1-0 win. You have to go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games before they gave up more than 1 goal. And they won that one 4-2. And that was Louisville, who always gives them trouble.
You've got Chewinga leading the Golden Boot.
Is she?
She's got 12. Esther Gonzalez also has 12.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah,
Haley Mace has
tied,
5
but-
assists, tied with a couple other players, including Izzy Rodriguez.
Yep.
leading the league in assists.
2 league leading assists, both from the defensive line, because they play balls up to Chawinga or Cooper.
It's just so fun. Like, the vibes are so good. It's a lot of fun to watch.
Did you watch this last game?
Even if Carrie's bored.
No, hold on. I will never be bored when we're winning. I would just like more goals. I could always be more entertained.
I don't know. You did sound like you were just bored with it. Like, oh, come on, do something different. Poke them with the stick. You're only winning 2-0.
No.
You're only dominating the league.
Gonna be 2-0.
You're just like setting records. I mean, just just going out and getting other star players. Come on, let's lose a game or something.
Oh, look, Tim Chawinga's really good again this game.
Oh no, we have another national team call up.
Yep. Damn.
Thad, who's the front runner for the MVP this year?
I mean, Timwa's got to be right up there. Yeah. I don't.
You'd think so, right?
Esther. Maybe
Banda's having another good season, but
yeah, not that good.
4 goals behind,
and she's hurt. She's out for the season.
She takes a ton of she leads leads the league in shots taken.
Yeah,
by like a pretty substantial margin.
If you thought goldenly breaded McDonald's chicken couldn't get more golden, think Golder, because new sweet and smoky special edition gold sauce is here. Made for your chicken favorites at participating McDonald's for a limited time.
Hey, it's Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. Now, I was looking for fun ways to tell you that Mint's offer of unlimited premium wireless for $15 a month is back. So I thought it would be fun if we made $15 bills. But it turns out that's very illegal. So there goes my big idea for the commercial. Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Introducing the perfect companion to your morning listening routine. AG1's clinically backed formula is now flavor-packed with 3 new delicious flavors: tropical, berry, and citrus. Start the day on a high note with probiotics that taste like the tropics. Mix it up with micronutrients that taste like berry or citrus. And take it all the way back with the classic AG1 Original with notes of pineapple and vanilla. Do your health a flavor or 4 with AG1 Next Gen, the daily health drink. Learn more at drinkag1.com.
This episode is sponsored by Friskies, who would like to tell your cats hi. Now, if that didn't get your cat's attention, there is one thing that always does the trick. Just pour some Friskies crunchy food in the bowl and you'll hear those paws come running. Works every time. With so many Friskies choices, you can always bring your cats running from their secret napping spots. There's always more to explore. See for yourself at friskies.com or visit your local store.
I would think that Ludmilla of Chicago probably gets in there. While Chicago is bad, a few years ago, Dabinia at a bad Kansas City Current was also in for MVP.
Yeah. And I personally don't think you have to be on the winning team to be an MVP, right? Or, because obviously Vlaco will be in the running for Coach of the Year this year. But in reality couldn't most coaches coach this team to be really good? Not saying as good. I'm not going to say as good as Vlaco's got them because.
No. Let me name a number of people who can't do that. Thad Bell, Robert Russert, Cody Bradley, me, Carrie,
Zavagnin.
Manu couldn't?
No, Manu could not coach this team to the dominance that Vlatko has.
I didn't say to the dominance. I said to be really good still. I did point that out.
Still no.
You could just let these players go play.
No, I'm not going to let you disrespect Vlatko that way.
I'm not disrespecting Vlatko.
Vlatko deserves, if this team breaks a record and sets a new high mark in terms of points won in a season, he deserves Coach of the Year, and you will write him an apology note.
Especially because this is coming out right after he won his 200th NWSL game.
200th or 100th?
100th.
Edit that out, Thad.
Edit that out. No, I was thinking that there's only 2 coaches in this league that have done that.
And who's the other one?
Laura Harvey.
And how many ahead of him is she?
I'm not sure.
Not that many.
No. I feel like she just got it. I feel like it was like this time last year, just about. But then again,
yeah.
he was out of the league for
Couple
much
years.
longer
Yep.
than she was.
Yeah. So she's pretty much been around forever and has coached some really bad teams. So not saying she's a bad coach, but she's not Flacco. Well, all right. Anything else to talk about with the current? I mean, they're really good. We'll probably have a little more in-depth discussion on keeping current with Kansas City that we'll probably record in the next day or so. But other than that,
I will watch the game for that.
yeah, Carrie didn't actually watch the game. What were you doing
No.
Saturday night?
I went to the art fair in Westport.
I was in a hotel in St. Louis trying to get my laptop to run off my hotspot because they promised they had Ion on the TV, but they did not.
The hotel didn't have Wi-Fi?
I don't use hotel Wi-Fi.
Why?
Security.
Oh, this
man.
is 10 minutes of content. Why not, Thad?
He is better than us.
Security.
I don't trust their Wi-Fi.
Mm-hmm. And what do you think is going to happen to you if you use the hotel's Wi-Fi?
Hacking.
Where
malware.
was this hotel? Where was this hotel?
Outside of St. Louis. But that
And
doesn't
who
really
was- and who
matter.
would
I
be
won't do it.
hacking you?
I won't do that at any hotel.
Do you think that St. Louisans are smart enough to hack you?
I think people can hack into the hotel's Wi-Fi. That doesn't matter if they're St. Louisans or not. David's at a loss for words.
I don't want to go down this rabbit hole anymore.
I do think that
You
just
started
knowing that he is the type of person that would do this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
Did you find that as you were adjusting your tinfoil hat, the service got better on your hotspot?
No.
I heard.
How was the food at Robert's wedding? Were there toasted raviolis?
There was not. Some of the food was very good. Some of it was not.
The Emo's pizza was pretty bad.
No, if they had Emo's pizza, it would have been pretty good. It was at a very nice. The reception was at a very nice pub, an inn place that they had pasta and chicken parmesan and some kind of beef thing and some potatoes and green beans and all that kind of stuff. I mean, like kind of normal stuff. It was pretty good. It's just I ended up being very late into the line for food because going and putting camera stuff away and securing all that stuff. So also, being secure about where I would leave my camera because, I take that stuff seriously.
I was gonna make a joke about how Thad also just doesn't use microwaves, but then we had a discussion about how he nukes things into the microwaves.
Yes, I nuke water to make my cup of tea.
Okay. Wonderful. Dad, what else is on tap? We've talked sporting, we've talked current. What other soccer's happening right now?
SKC2 won a game.
Wow.
I know.
Is that 3 on the season? Or 4?
I think it's 3.
Okay.
They've come close a couple times, but they actually won this last weekend. Another game I missed because I was in St. Louis.
So 3 wins, 4 draws, 17 losses.
Yes.
Here's the stat that will it's mind-boggling.
They would not be good if Vlaco was coaching them.
It is mind-boggling, and I am saying mind-boggling and not boggling, and I know that's not correct, but I think it's funnier.
You give me shit for saying nuke?
They are. I didn't say a word about you saying nuke. I said nothing. That was Carrie. Sporting KC2 is in last place. They have 14 points from 24 games. 13th place is Tacoma with 27 points from 23 games. Tacoma has a -7 goal differential, which is not the worst. There's other teams that are also bad, like North Texas is an 8th with a -11 goal differential. Portland has -9, but Sporting Kansas City 2 -34.
Yes.
Which is just astounding.
They've not scored many goals and they've given up a pretty good amount of them.
I mean, in the other like side of the league, Inter Miami has a -26 goal differential. And that's still 8 better than SKC 2.
Yeah. Are you getting to a point here? They're bad.
Yeah, well, the point is, I mean, that is almost laughably bad. But here's the actual point. They're using it as a developmental team, right? It's supposed to bridge from the academy, pro player pathway, blah, 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 blah. Is it beneficial in any meaningful way for these kids to just go out there and get fucking pummeled every game? Is it actually doing anything? Is there any service in it for the academy kids?
Well, yes, but not as much as they want. I mean, if you play up and play at a higher level, you get experience from doing that. The result for the academy kid playing up isn't as important because they're getting that experience going against people that are better than them. Some of the 2 teams that they play against are essentially not very far from the first team in level, and some of the 2 teams you play against are essentially academy teams. But the problem is,
go ahead. Sorry, Thad.
The problem is because of all the knock-on stuff from this whole year, they never got any additional players. They got very few additional players to round out the team, to have a team that the academy kids can come into and have success. The first team didn't have any success. They didn't have many players they could loan down. Ian James, Jack Corkamp were like the only 2. They should have loaned down a Frifo once in a while. At least let the poor guy get runs, maybe score a goal once in a while, get some confidence, or prove that he's worse than an academy team. But either way, they should have given him more opportunity down there. There just wasn't a lot of players that they, because they're not, the only time Bartlett went down was essentially to back up to play defense a little bit and to play in the Open Cup. So none of that stuff made any help to any of those players in that regard, but it is just such a knock-on effect from the whole no director of soccer operations or whatever term they use, chief soccer officer, whatever term, none of that stuff, because then you knocked on and not Burns not having a direction, and then Peter being gone and all this other stuff, not having a coach after Benny left, bringing Istvan, who I don't think Istvan's a bad coach. I don't think he was fired because he was a bad coach. There was some other incident going on there, because I think he is a decent coach, maybe not great, but he was one who could deal with academy kids and pros at the same time in theory. But there's other stuff that happened. He's parted ways, and you had Ike. He's gotten a good result. He's changed some things. Probably is having a little more success with him than Istvan was. But they're just a bad team. They just don't have players. Just like if you want to define what's wrong with Sporting right now, it's not that the coaching is bad, not that Carrie's making a ton of coaching mistakes. It's that they don't have enough talent across all 3 lines. Yeah. I mean, the only line you could say they have enough talent on is Pulse Camp, and a lot of people would argue that even. Front line, yes, you have Dejan Jovic, but at the same time, you want a couple other wingers to be better. They don't have enough talent across all 3 lines. You don't have enough creative midfield. You don't have enough strength in the midfield. You don't have enough winger play. You don't have good center backs. You don't have outside backs. And that whole thing is a knock-on down, because if you had good starting center backs, you would have Jansen Miller playing with the second team and getting time and having younger guys next to him who he's now helping be better. It's not been that way. It's just been a whole landslide of issues from top to bottom.
Yeah. I mean, I think I kind of fundamentally disagree with the idea of it's good to just throw all the academy kids out there, and that simply by playing up they'll get better. Because
I'm not saying all of them, and I'm not saying
but
that that's the only, like, you just throw academy kids out there. I wouldn't want that either.
there has to be a mix, right? Because
I'd agree.
You have to, because you develop really bad habits playing up and simply just getting massacred. Um, there's diminishing returns on playing up. You have to still be competitive-ish, right?
Yes.
And usually the benefit is you take a 15-year-old academy kid and put him on a team with a bunch of guys who actually know what they're doing. So you're playing up in terms of who your opposition is, but you're also playing up with guys around you who can elevate your game.
Yeah.
When you've just got a bunch of children getting beaten by grown men, there's diminishing returns. And
well, there's also some of those other teams. When I said, like, some of them are very close to the first team level and some of them are closer to academy level, those academies in most part are better also.
Right.
So even when you play a team that's academy heavy, it's still a really better overall talent team.
I'm the thing I would like to see Sporting do, and my hope with whoever the new chief soccer officer is you have to kind of be at the cutting edge of something, or you sometimes have to zig when everybody's zagging, right? Nobody's really utilizing MLS Next Pro and the lower tiers of the American soccer pyramid to, like, make money and to move players on. And I know I've brought this up before, but, like, Barca B sells players who are not good enough to play for Barca A, for the A team, right? But they sell them along. Like Ilie was sold to, or I think he might have left it on a free, but Ilie was developed, wasn't good enough to play for Barca A, and went to 1800 Munich or whatever it's called. You see that all the time with, like, the Premier League academies. You get these kids who come up through the academy. They're not necessarily good enough to play for Liverpool, but they get sold on to a championship team for X amount of dollars. With a guy like Afrifa, who the club clearly doesn't believe is good enough to be a rotational piece, showcase him in MLS Next Pro and sell him to a USL club, sell him to a Canadian Premier League club. They're not utilizing it as a business opportunity, and I would like to see them use it more as a way to develop the lower end of the roster and get reps for guys like, let's say Jansen or Ian James, but also to take those fringe guys who you really don't think are going to be good enough to be first teamers, but to be able to move them on and get something, recoup something for your investment.
I don't disagree, and I think under previous personnel, they did not feel that selling a player on for $25,000 was worth the effort of the paperwork.
Lunacy.
I feel that if Burns has enough staff, he will more take an opportunity to utilize that method. However, you still have to have the players, but this is the whole thing. Again, you have to have staff. This is probably getting into what I was going to have be the next thing anyway, but no chief of soccer operations, not a permanent head coach right now. Burns is in limbo because he really can't know what he's going to do, because if the chief soccer operations comes in and says, I don't like you, Mr. Mike, you're out, right? And they're short on scouts around the world. They're short, as far as I know, I think they might be short on scouts for the academies, right? So, because they want to go recruit players to come here. And they do bring players in, and players come here and stuff like that, but not at the rate you would like to see it. Everything is in limbo right now, and this is one of the reasons why, again, not saying that we should have kept Vermees, but that was always one of the hesitations for me wanting to fire Vermees ever, was that I knew there'd be a knock-on effect for a couple of years of everything down the line being put on hold. I think that might finally be changing with the new chief of soccer operations, hopefully this month. At one time I'd heard that they were going to be towards the beginning of this month, but maybe that was misconstrued as they're doing final interviews. I don't know, because what Weeby put out the other day was similar to things I've heard, but not the exact timelines. But anyway.
Yeah. So Weeby put out that they should have someone by the end of the month. But Weeby also said that there is a potential of 2 DPs. So we're looking at that. And neither Manu or Dayon can be bought down. So he went into more depth and he said that, I mean, obviously nothing's going to be set in stone. This is going to be like a CSO and then everything trickles down and they want to change the team and how they do. But they were implying that he believes that there is a good chance that a Mexican team or some other league could come along and uh want talks about Dayon again to sell him.
Honestly, if somebody wanted to come for Dayon, it would probably be a bigger league than the Mexican league at this point.
Yes, but like I feel like whoever, if the CSO, whatever the trickle down effect would be there, um, I feel like that'd be such a stupid move if
Yeah.
you're trying to build something right now and then.
I don't know that obviously Weeby has some better sources than what we do. But at the same time, I don't know that he was fully accurate in saying, there could be as possibly as many as 2 DPs open. And there are other mechanisms. In theory, neither one of them could be bought down, but I'm not sure what other mechanisms are out there. And who knows? Maybe MLS is going to add a 4th DP. I don't know. Um, I just don't know. So I would not read too much into that. But if Sporting sold Dayon for anything less than, I don't even know, I don't even want to throw out a number, but it would have to be a tremendous amount of number that you could then turn around and get another number 9 who was good and a couple of wingers and another midfielder and I don't know, so it just is you need money.
Yeah. David,
been-
you've been on the idea that we could sell him. What would you put his price at? Hypothetically.
Well, hold on, and I'll get you his value. Transfer market values him at $5.5 million.
Okay, but what are you asking for?
We paid what, 4 for him? Is that right? 4 in cash, 3 in cash, 4 in cash.
I think it was was it 3? I want to say 3, but I don't want to lowball
I don't
him.
remember the exact number, but
I mean,
it was up
'cause
there.
It's not just what can you sell him for, but it's can you get a comparable or better player, and what will that cost? Goals are the most expensive thing to buy.
Yep.
Strikers, good strikers aren't cheap. I would not sell him for like less than 10.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's going to cost to replace him. He's a very good player. He can create for himself. Is generally pretty good at converting chances created for him from other players. His peak market value was $6.5 million at the end of last season. He's worth 5.5 right now, according to Transfer Market. I mean, I could see like a mid-level European club coming for him. Like he could be a lower end Bundesliga guy. He could be, a French league player, not PSG, but any of the other teams probably, but how do you replace him? And if you look at the numbers that are getting thrown around for MLS clubs as they're going out looking for strikers, it's expensive. So unless you're getting big dollars, it's just not worth it necessarily to move him on. I do think he's probably too good for MLS. I think he could play in a better league.
He could definitely play in a better. I wonder why they would have lower value for him now than last year because he's scoring more goals. He's on a worse team, but he's scoring more goals than he did last year.
I mean, his value peaked after they won MLS Cup.
Yeah. I don't put a ton of stock in Transfer Market's value, but I know there's at least some reasonable basis for him. But he's too good to just give away for $4 million at this point.
It would also just torpedo all goodwill you have with the fan base. He's one of the few bright spots of the season. And if the club wants people to come, which people aren't coming to games, right? Every game you can clearly see the seats on the east side spelled out Sporting. Bad sign to then take your best player and be like, okay, we're going to sell him for not that much more than we paid for him. Why would anybody come to games?
The only way you do this is if you can see that he is turning into more value somewhere else. Like, so I mean, if you can sell him for $10 million and bring in a $7 million striker and a $3 million winger, then you need to think about it, right? You have to think about it. But I don't have any faith that you can bring in a striker. I don't have any faith that you can bring in a striker that's even remotely capable of what he's doing for anything close to what you can sell him for, because it's just going to be harder. You're not a good team. You would have to build everything else so much better, and strikers like that are hard to come by. So I would not do it unless it was incredibly huge amounts of money.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm trying to pull it up right now. Transfer market's running really slowly, but I mean, if you look at some of the numbers that have been thrown around recently for like when Atlanta has been buying strikers, like Yakumakis was really expensive, and you know, some of these guys who, I mean, they're $10 million players.
Yeah.
You know, so
what? How much did the guy for Atlanta come in at? Was he like way high, and then hasn't scored that much?
Hold on, it's gonna take a minute. I mean,
but
yeah, Atlanta pays unreal money for players, and they don't always hit.
No, they've made some of that back though. Some of those. But
I mean,
Dejan scored 17 goals this year. He scored 15 last year in regular season play. His number is higher because he had playoff goals and stuff like that for last year. But in league play, in 27 games, he has 17 goals. Last year in league play, in 28 games, he had 15. And that's for a team that had Ricky Puig setting him up and all these other talented players that they were they were maximizing their budget charge to get. And on Sporting, he's getting less opportunities and scoring 17 goals.
Yeah. I mean, so to give you perspective, Atlanta's striker they got from Middlesbrough is Emmanuel Latte Lath. 21.25 million euros is what they paid. Thiago Almada, left winger, in 2021 they paid 14.5. Gonzalo Martinez, number 10, in 2018 they paid 14.5. Barco they paid 12.25. Yakumakis was cheap. He came from the Scottish League, 4 million. Martinez came from a bad team in Serie A. He was 4.5. You know, it costs a lot of money to get guys in who can score goals.
And right now, Dejan is third in the Golden Boot race. Again, Messi's only had 19 games played. Surridge has 20 goals and 28 starts or 29 total matches. But you got, I don't even know how to say his name, guy from Philadelphia with 16 goals in 25 games. So he's right up there with the top strikers, with the exception of Messi being the odd worldly being that he is. So there's no way I would sell him for anything less than double digits millions. And I wouldn't do it then if I had any chance of building a team from some other way than selling him.
Right.
So if Weeby was right and you're going to have to get rid of ADP, again, I don't know what he was. I don't want to like try to read into what he's implying. I didn't read all of his texts or tweets. I mean, but if he was implying that they're going to move on from one, I'd rather move Manu.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just because Manu's been injured more recent and, feels like when whenever Basson goes to Canada, we don't realize how bad that we miss him until he's playing or whatever. I mean, we're still getting some wins without Manu, and so you could look at this and you could just say that Dejan is the best player on the team.
Oh, by far.
Yeah.
And I like Manu, but he's also more replaceable than Decky is. It'd be easier to find somebody to play that 8/10 creative mid role than to find a striker who's going to put 17 in the net.
Right.
With a bad team.
Yeah. And one of the reasons the team isn't good enough, again, this is not a slam on Manu, but he's not strong enough in the midfield at times. He has done some very remarkable things. He's a very good player. And if he was on a stronger team, he would be a much better player. So I'm not, but he's also not strong enough to lift the team up at the same time, where Dayon still kind of does.
Yeah.
This team needs multiple midfielders that are better than what they have, even though they might be players I like and I think can become great players. Like I still think Bartlett could become a very good six in this league. Things like that. We need better center backs, even though I think Jansen Miller can be a good starting center back in this league. Maybe Voloder even. Not sold on Montez yet, but I'm not discounting him. You know, there's all these positions, all these players, and I've said this type of stuff before. Is all these players, any one of them could be on a very good team and be successful. But when we have all of these players, we're not successful because they're all not good enough to take the team to another level or help the team be better. They're good enough if they were on another team, but they're not on another team. They're on this team. So they need a lot of help. And there's a lot of players leaving probably in the offseason. And they need a chief soccer officer. They need a CSO that can set a direction. And they need owners who are committing money so that the chief soccer officer and Mr. Burns and whoever helps Mr. Burns and the other agents or the other scouts that they can bring in. And they were supposed to bring in a GM for the 2 team, which they didn't do. So all this stuff is all part of that whole knock-on effect from before, but it's also not just from the Peter Vermees knock-on effect. It's from the owners kind of just being just letting things remain in motion without making improvements. I was trying to look for the right word there, but
I'm available.
Well, I know you've been friends with Mr. Illig. So go talk to him.
A long time. I haven't seen him in like a while.
They probably told him to stop going to that barber since they heard it on the podcast.
I don't think that's the issue.
All right, what else do we need to talk about? Suarez finally got suspension from MLS, 3 games, I think I heard. I have not looked into it. I was driving a lot today, so I'm still catching up from all the news over the weekend and things.
Yeah, they gave him a 3-game ban in addition to was it 3 or 6 game ban from the Leagues Cup?
6 for the Leagues Cup.
Yeah, so I mean he just won't play in the Leagues Cup for the next 2 years, or
probably
year.
ever.
Yeah, I mean, and then 3 games this year. Is he good enough to put up with all of this shit? Like, is it worth it?
At one time he was, but
yeah, but I mean, like, it's also curious, like, and you know, the league has an operating agreement, so by the the collective bargaining agreement, the CBA, they can only suspend people for so long and fine them so much, right, and this and that and the other. But this guy has just a lengthy history of being a real piece of trash. And at some point, somebody's going to have to say that, like, he's just not welcome in professional soccer anymore.
Yeah, but somebody else will say, yes, he is, and sign him because he can still score some goals.
This crap in, like, the, fucking Peruvian 3rd division. But at some point, MLS needs to say, look, you've been biting people for years. You're attacking an old man, a coach. Like, what are we doing?
I think that old man would have kicked his ass, quite honestly. But still, right now, what one person has the most influence in MLS? Messi. If Leo Messi wants Suarez on his team, if he wants Busquets on his team, if he wants insert name here on his team, and I don't mean Johnny's. So that's what it is. It was the biggest deal for MLS to get Messi here. And if they needed to somehow not notice any rules violations, not notice anything else, I had doubts that they would even give Suarez a suspension because it was in Leagues Cup and not MLS. So I'm pleasantly surprised that they actually gave him a real suspension, 3 games. It should have been for the rest of the season, quite honestly. But that would be me. That would be me sending a message if I had any power over this stuff.
How many games did Tim Melia get for body slamming Christian Roldan?
I think it was 2. It was gonna be 3, and then they used it for like good media. So they worked it down.
Seattle's always the victims.
I can still hear them crying sometimes.
When you lift a seashell to your ear.
Sounds like the rain, the Pacific Northwest rain.
Yeah, but they also had Dempsey who tore up a referee's notebook.
Okay, that was awesome though. That was incredible theater.
That was iconic, especially because they were at a tiny stadium in between Portland and Seattle. I don't know what stadium it is. I know it's a tinier one.
Yeah, no, I mean like that, non-violent, but very theatrical. That was good. That was good theater.
Peak US soccer history.
Yeah, you've got Donovan tearing up the thing. You've got Sanzusi. You've got Landon Donovan appearing with his hair plugs. You've got Twellman, what are we doing? Alexi Lawless's bootleg version of Twellman, what are we doing? And that's US soccer.
Wait, and my other team is Mexico. Can't forget that.
Never forget that.
I saw an interview the other day. Maybe it was old, but I feel like it was a more recent thing. And he was still defending himself over that.
I wouldn't doubt it, but
all right.
Isn't he and like Tim Howard like doing a podcast where they basically just like, oh, you can't challenge whatever we say because we are the best US soccer players ever thing?
Yeah, maybe that was it. Maybe that's what I saw.
Is
I forgot
the best?
They're podcast bros now. They're like us, podcast bros.
Yeah, they have a little more credibility in the game. A little bit. I mean, they're not getting invited in to like chat with Manu, but still.
Is Tim Howard? I don't think Tim Howard's the best U.S. goalkeeper of all time. Is he?
Who is?
I don't know.
I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying that he would say he is.
I mean, that 24
sure.
Anyone on that 2014 team is gonna get much more praise than probably they should.
And speaking of US soccer, this will probably come out on this tomorrow, the same day they're playing Japan after having lost to South Korea 2-0, which I also did not get to watch yet because I was on the road for a wedding. So thank you,
Does
Robert.
Casey Keller not get any respect? Casey Keller was really good.
He was.
Miola?
I would take Miola, but there's a very legit argument that Tim Howard and Casey Keller and Tony Miola were the best goalkeepers for the U.S. ever. But I think each one of them have a valid debate to that.
Brad Friedel?
Yeah,
good.
He was good. He wasn't quite in that level, in my opinion, but he was great in England.
He even had an accent.
Wasn't he the one that said that we should come challenge players in the parking lot, though? Who was that?
I don't remember. I don't know. Tim Howard, I mean, like, look, I enjoyed the Secretary of Defense memes as much as the next guy. But he's also a dickhead.
He is.
And I think that counts against him.
It does, in my book. I don't like him. I should say I've had positive experiences with him and I've had negative experiences with him, but he's one of the best goalkeepers the U.S. has ever had, if not the best. He's one of the best.
He's one of the best, for sure.
Yeah.
He's up there. Now, I was absent during part of the season, so I'm sure you all already talked about this, but where did we land on Christian Pulisic versus, or more specifically, Christian Pulisic's dad versus Landon Donovan?
I think I don't know. When you get the soccer parents in there, I was okay with Pulisic taking a step back because my friends and I had this debate and we looked to see how many matches in a row he had had. However, when you get a parent into this, also like Gio, similarly, you lose all credibility.
And the
You,
Bellinghams.
you can no longer win any uh debate for the rest of your life on anything. He's just done.
Go ahead, Thad.
Well, I was going to change the subject up a little bit, but as I was driving back today, as I've now mentioned many times, I was listening to Sirius Satellite Radio, soccer channel, whatever that is, and the one show that has Tony Meola on it, the regular co-host was not there, so it was being filled in with by Nate Bukaty. Nate, love Nate, great guy. But at one point he's like, "Oh, everybody always talks about soccer moms, and soccer moms always get the attention, but we need to talk about soccer dads." And I'm like, "Yeah, soccer dads, man. I drove my daughter to soccer practices and did all this stuff and all this stuff." And I'm like, I'm expecting Nate to talk about how we need to get praised a little bit as soccer dads. And then he goes, "No, we can talk about these dads that keep interfering in their kids' lives, Bellinghams." And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's not where I expected it to go." So anyway.
We are only a few years out of Carolina Reina, something like that, um, getting called up to a higher national team, women's national team. I think she's in the U14s, U15s right now. Only a few years away before she can become a pro, and we can get the Reinas to medal against Emma Hayes.
I'm here for it. I love it.
I'm rooting for it, honestly.
I think U.S. soccer is done with her, but then or with that whole family. However, I hope Gio gets his act together and gets to playing his best soccer. I have doubts. David's over there shaking his head, but
it won't happen.
I doubt, but I hope he does, man. He's a talent when he's good, and if he can get his head straight and not be caught up in what his parents think he should be able to do or should be doing.
How many guys turn around this many bad seasons in a row, right? Like you can have a bad season and bounce back. He has now squandered how many years in a row?
There's been a lot of injuries too, and then there's a lot of it's mostly mental, I think. But
at some point, you're just cooked, and
yeah.
I think that's where we're at with Gio. I mean, now it might just be time to come back to MLS and like see if you can figure it out for Columbus or something, Or his dad played
Sporting.
for. Is his dad a Metro Star?
Yes.
Yeah. Let him go play for Red Bull and then botch a final, and then we can all say that's so Metro. But
would you take him at Sporting, David?
No.
SKC too.
Sure. Can't be worse. But
I've actually seen him play on that field, so
he's super talented. He's just not worth the hassle.
I should say he kind of played, but he wasn't very good that day.
Diminishing returns, but
yeah.
I mean, it's a bummer.
It is. He's a player that probably could have been a very, very good U.S. soccer player.
I mean,
he was at times.
You don't get to the teams that he played on without being super talented. But the difference between, there's a billion guys who've made it to that level who are talented, and they don't ever really reach their peak because they don't have the discipline, they don't have the mental strength, they don't have the whatever. Here's my question, Thad. So one of my favorite moments in the history of this sport is Benny Feilhaber wearing a youth large Jurgen Klinsmann kit because of how petty he is. And I love Benny, and I'm not criticizing him in any way. It truly is one of the highlights of my fandom. Do we ever get a day where Pulisic shows up in like a weird bald cap with the patchy hair on the sides so he can cook Landon Donovan? Like, can this beef continue to grow?
I kind of hope so, because
we need it.
Well, Landon Donovan was arguably the best U.S. player we've had there's cases for others, but arguably the best. He also wasn't as good as he sometimes thought of himself too. So, he's players should do this, players shouldn't do that, whatever. That's fine. He didn't play very long in Europe. He went over for stints. I don't know. Playing in Europe isn't the answer all the time either. So I don't want to blame it that way. But
If he was to do that, he should do it now, especially since this roster has a Berhalter and a Klinsmann on it.
very true.
Oh, I would die to see Benny wear a Jonathan Klinsmann kit. just to keep trolling Jurgen.
Would if they lose against Japan and look bad, are we going to go all in and bring Berhalter back?
For the third time?
I hope not. Well, bring him back one stint for every G in his name. But no, I don't know that Pochettino will get it figured out. I think very highly of Poch as a coach, if you will. Give him the cycle to try and get it sorted.
I am not as down on him as some people are right now, but I also questioned whether or not he would be a good national team coach because he hasn't been. And they're different talents. You can be a good club coach and a great national team coach or a bad national team coach. They're just different things, and you have different talent pools, and you can't just if you're a good club coach, you can say, "Hey, owner, can I have $10 million to go out and get a backup defensive midfielder?" And you can't do that at the national team level. You got to go find somebody who can play those spots. And if they're all sucking right now, if they're all in poor form, if they're all hurt, there's a lot of players on the national team I wouldn't trust to call up because they seem to be always getting hurt. So,
I mean, I will say, I thought Pochettino has a good understanding of tactics and is tactically adaptable. He, during his peak with Tottenham, was switching from a back four to a back three, playing double pivot, sometimes playing a single pivot. I mean, it wasn't always the same setup. It wasn't always the same tactics. There was a lot of bunkering and countering. I mean, he kind of created the blueprint to beat Man City. So I think his ability to adapt to the talent level exists. I mean, he's obviously got his preferred tactics, his preferred method of playing, but a lot of this has been experimentation and trying to just kind of get his feet under him and just figure out who's in the pool for the World Cup. And I think once the team actually starts playing the meaningful games and maybe even the friendlies right directly in the build-up before, I think you'll see a more dialed in version of the team. I think he's got that club in his bag.
I do not want to be on the bandwagon of, oh, you got to be playing all of your best players right now so they gel and know each other and all this other stuff. It would be nice, but it's not necessarily the best thing for him because he is still looking at other players. I don't know that he has a whole lot of players he feels he can count on right now to get results, play what he wants. We know what Pulisic is. We know what McKinney can be because he's not always that way. Pulisic's not always that way, but Pulisic's at least more consistently good. Weahs and Mousas and all that stuff. The fact that Tim Ream's still there though always worries me. But
dude, Tim Ream, I mean, at this point, he just comes with the furniture. He's just gonna be here forever.
Yeah, he's part of the upholstery. All right, I think we've talked for a really, really long time now, and we went so far off the unwritten rundown. What do we?
All right, to send us off, I have a question for both of you. Okay, so there is a kind of a town hall for Cauldron on Thursday, and they're doing hot ones with Jake Reed, Carrie Zvagnin, and Mike Burns. So basically, they go down the line and they are eating wings, and they get progressively hotter as they're getting asked questions. Who do you think?
Are you explaining hot ones to us like we don't know what it is?
I had to explain it on here before. So
Oh,
She thinks I don't know what it is.
I love the hot ones. I have all the
Okay.
sauces in my fridge right now.
okay.
Do you have to explain it to Robert? Is that who it was?
Oh, maybe. Sorry. Apologies. We did learn during the current podcast that Thad does know slang, Gen Z slang.
That was not Gen Z slang. You just have
Okay.
appropriated it.
Okay.
So they're doing the hot ones challenge.
Yes. So of Jake Reed, KZ, and Mike Burns, who is gonna go out first? Who's gonna
Reed.
tap out?
Reed. Well, Jake seems the softest.
However,
Burns, I can tell you as somebody who's getting progressively older and used to love spicy food, and now at the ripe old age of 38, my stomach is on fire if I get anything more than like mild. So,
wuss.
I know it's a real bummer. But I'm gonna say Jake.
Okay. I've been told that all of their wives have made fun of them because none of them can apparently do spice.
They're
So.
also very white. Like
They are.
white.
I can do hot. I choose not to do hot that doesn't have flavor. I choose to do hot that has flavor. So that's the level that I will usually go to, where I feel like there's still good flavor. However, I want to handicap this. Okay, I feel that Carrie is like pretty very Midwestern white boy, so he may not do a lot of hot. I know he's not from the Midwest, but he's just been here for a long time. Mike Burns feels like an East Coaster who he may not do a lot of hot sauce, but he's probably done a lot of like, hot salami, pepperoni kind of stuff. I don't know, something like that. Jake, I feel like he looks like he would be pretty soft, but I think also that it will take a long time for the heat to hit bottom for it to really be painful. So he might last longer just based upon the travel time of stomach, mouth to stomach to nether regions.
What about you, Carrie?
Okay. So I said that Jake Reed's gonna tap out first because I feel like KZ and Mike are gonna have this like old school mentality of, oh, we have to tough this out. And Jake
Yep.
just isn't going to. And so I put on the Cauldron Instagram and you can go vote who you think is going to tap out first. And Jake Reed has 28 votes, KZ 24 votes, and Mike Burns at 5 votes.
I'm telling. There's something about Burns being like,
Yeah.
tough old dude from the Northeast.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think he's got possibility to go the distance. The age may, betray him though.
It's the great equalizer. I just,
It could go either way with his age.
Now, Thad, have you ever tried any of these sauces?
From hot ones, no, but I mean I've eaten hot stuff. So
Okay, so next podcast that we do in person, would you like for me to bring them?
no, I don't care.
These
I have
ones-
nothing to prove.
I'm not asking
again,
you to prove anything. Whoa, easy, Tiger. I'm not asking you to prove anything. I'm just asking if you want to try them.
No, it was leading into, yeah, I want you to try the hot stuff.
No,
So-
you said you like hot food that tastes good. I want to see if you think any of these taste good. I'll tell you right now, Da Bomb tastes like ass. And I would not bring that one. I think I threw it away.
Let me just say that they are not doing the hot one sauces. They're doing KC hot sauces.
Oh. Well, Da Bomb is produced in Kansas City, down on Southwest Boulevard.
Okay,
Spicing
maybe it's
Foods.
there.
But it, honest to God, is like something you would torture somebody with. I mean,
I have a beer stout hot sauce and I have an IPA hot sauce unopened. I'm about to bring them, and whoever taps out first gets one of them, and whoever lasts the longest gets the other.
I think we should do this. I think this would be good content.
Off-season content.
I
Yes.
have all the sauces. We can skip Da Bomb. The rest of them,
Let's do it out in the snow to maximize content.
Okay, of our regular participants, who taps out first?
The ginger.
Yeah, right? I mean, it's obviously Cody.
I was gonna say Robert.
No, Cody's softer than baby shit.
Okay.
Cody taps out quick.
He is the whitest if you're going based off hair.
Okay, who goes
ginger.
next?
I don't know. I feel like I can do hot things, but like I'll suffer through it. I got the hottest ramen at some sushi place, and I thought it was like a white sushi place. So I was like, oh, it can't be that bad. I still ate the thing, but I had to do it in like 5 sittings.
I think Thad wins.
Nah, I don't think so.
David, I feel like you win because you have all the sauces.
So my fantasy football league every year, whoever gets last place gets punished. So one guy has to bowl a perfect game, but can deduct 10 pins for every hot dog he eats. One guy had to run do the NFL Combine, etc. And so one year, whoever got last had to do the Hot Ones challenge, and I ordered like a crap ton of wings, and we sauced them all and whatever. And the bomb was pretty brutal, but then the last dab is actually, it tastes really good, and it's really hot, but not for a super long time.
There was a fantasy football loser at the game, and they were just dressed as a clown. But good times. Fantasy football is here.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more fun than fantasy soccer. They haven't really quite figured out fantasy soccer.
Yeah.
No.
I gave up on fantasy football because I didn't want to root for teams or players or defenses of teams I didn't like just because I had them. So
Yeah, that's me with Bo Nix as my quarterback.
Well, I think we found our off-season content. It's not fantasy football. It is, I think, Cody's always pressing us to find video content. Hot Ones podcast. I think like we do like a Sporting KC trivia thing, and whoever, if you get it wrong, you have to eat a wing.
how about like the hottest ramen bowl or hottest Korean bibimbap?
No, because you've got an advantage. You lived over there.
Not for a long time.
So
how about
there's a reason you're suggesting it, Thad.
So
There's
you
a
can
reason.
win.
Yeah, there's
Cheater.
you're
Cheater.
stacking the deck for yourself. There's a reason.
It's not cheating if you.
But we're not
Oh,
stupid.
by the
Well,
way,
not for this reason, at least.
at Robert's reception last night, I got accused of cheating because they played a flippy cup game, which I don't care. I was not really in the mood to play a game, but it was like teams. So I kept flipping mine into Robert's to knock it off as he was flipping his. It kind of pissed him off, but
Troll the groom at his wedding. Class.
yeah, well, you don't come and challenge me if you don't expect me to friggin' try to like win or, at least cause you pain. And I want to give a shout out to Aaron and Mauricia, who I'm sitting at a table with, and they go, "Oh, we recognize your voice. We listened to your pod." Then I had to behave after that.
I'm proud that you remembered the names.
I know I worked very hard on it.
And I did not have to write them down after the pod.
Yes. That's Carrie's been very appreciated for having taken that step to help me.
I'm taking notes
Yes.
from you. I'm taking Danish translation notes for Sperry.
Yeah, what an asset. What a true asset.
Carrie is an amazing person, and we greatly appreciate having her here. And she shows up quite often, unlike some people that show up to this pod like once every 5 months.
I think it's like 2 and 3 weeks, 2 and 4 weeks, something like that. But
I'm talking an average, not the last 3 weeks.
Bruh, let me tell you something. I would, in a heartbeat, dial back on all of the other stuff in my life and spend more time with you all. But like I had baseball tonight. I'm coaching 6-year-old baseball. We had a game Thursday, Saturday, practice Sunday, and a game tonight. 7 p.m. on a Monday night for first graders.
Yay.
No, it's some bullshit,
David.
man. They're tired. It's 7 o'clock. My kids go to bed at 7:30. And they're out here in the dirt running around like it's just insanity. But Hot Ones podcast. We're going to do it.
I don't know, because it'll feel like we're like copying if we do it.
I don't care. It'll be
They
fun.
called this one hot seats. Oh, never mind. You're actually talking about the idea, not the trademark of Hot Ones.
Yes.
We'll be fine.
Carrie is an asset, but sometimes she takes a second.
Thad, will you say something prophetic?
Love is good.
Sporting.
Saturday and the game is on. 10 minutes in, it's 3-0. I'm sipping back an empty can. I don't give a damn if it's 9 a.m. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. The other side don't seem so tough, and 3 own goals ain't all that rough. Our skipper has just been sent off. Supporters strong have all gone soft. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. Give me beer or whiskey, wine or gin, anything to shake this mood I'm in. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking. My football team's got me drinking.